Okay, welcome, Peter Stewart. How you doing, Peter?
Yeah, it's a great morning in Melbourne. A little cool, but overall great.
Yes. Well, this is an honour because you are my uncle, but also the inspiration behind this amazing trip that we have in going to Nepal. And about 5 years ago, I came to you asking you to help me design an amazing trip, one that just wasn't a trip to Nepal, but one that really was an experience for those wanting to go on that. And you're a man that arrived in Nepal in 1992 with a one-way ticket, probably not knowing that you're going to spend a lifetime there. But perhaps if you could tell us a little bit about your stay in Nepal and what you did there, and then why this trip is so amazing.
Yeah, well, there was a bit of a shaky start, a rocky road, really getting out of Australia, and odd circumstances, and I sort of just it was really a leap of faith at the time that took me there, and it was funny. I was up your way, up in just southern Queensland, northern New South Wales, and sitting on a beach and wondering what the hell was I going to do, and I sort of just came to my mind like just pack up everything, go to Nepal. And that was the journey. And so 20 plus years later, here we are, and it's amazing that across several generations, that now it's almost like being hand passed onto my nephew, and with a little bit of a partnership here to keep an amazing country and amazing culture and everything alive and being offered to so many more people that I think, well, we know they're so passionate about traveling over there. They may not know it now, but when they get there, and certainly by the time they get back, the full appreciation of what they've seen and experienced really comes to the foreground.
So there's a bit of a backstory, but you did purchase some Himalayan mountain bikes, and you ran that, and obviously, one of your loves and passions is mountain biking and venturing and getting out and seeing the great outdoors. What is it about Nepal that captured you and just kept you there for so long? Out of all the places you could go, and what is it about Nepal that you feel is so special?
Nepal seems to have it's like some sort of gravity or magnetic sort of force field or something that just sort of holds you there. And for me, and maybe it's not everyone's cup of tea, but um, it's a myriad of so many things. I mean, it's an insult to the senses. It sort of whacks you in the face, and everywhere you look, everything that you see, it just has an impact on you. Whether it's young kids on the side of the road, the colours, the different languages, and mind you, like just in Kathmandu, around Kathmandu Valley, there can be 50 different dialects of the Nepalese language. Um, and then when you add in, the Buddhist culture, the Hindu culture, so much it's just alive. The city is alive, and you think of 800, 1,000 or more year old temples, and they're still living, working, operating temples, monasteries, as today, where people every day are going there as part of their daily lives, making offerings. And the women get dressed up in the mornings, and they've got a tray filled with colored powders and water and leaves and flowers and things where they go to make their offerings. And it just you can't escape it. And I always thought, I mean, years later, I thought, how do you really appreciate a country? And I had to like just stop and really think about it. And I think the best way is to sit somewhere really quiet and just observe, just watch what passes you by and what you hear, and the sounds and the smells and everything. And it gives you a real chance to then make a comparison with, what we experience as our normal day of life in Australia.
Mm.
So it was all of those things, but I felt very connected to the Buddhist culture. And as I ultimately, my wife Bhavani, that I married in Nepal, and yesterday was our 23rd anniversary, and we've got two kids. She's a Hindu, comes from a Hindu background, and so got this great marrying up of Hindu and Buddhist cultures, and so Nepal meant a lot to me.
So within HMB and all the mountain bike tours that you did, I mean, you've been to Bhutan, you've been to Tibet, you've been to India, you've been all over Nepal. Yet, when we look to design a really unique and immersive trip for people to experience everything Nepal has to offer and the best of it, you came to me and said, "Look, I've got the trip for you," and we did a recce together, which was a really cool experience. But why was it, out of all the places that we could have gone, why Upper Mustang and the Annapurna and the pass?
I mean, who could ever think that a little parcel of land that landlocked, caught up in the top end of the Himalayas, could have a kingdom within a kingdom? Now, unfortunately, both of those kingdoms have unraveled, with the death of the royal family and all of this. But Mustang was a kingdom within the kingdom of Nepal, and there was only like ever 3 or 4 kingdoms in the world, and that was gifted to a family by the then king of Nepal. And so this guy was able to create his own kingdom, and which was named Mustang, and it became a restricted zone. So sure, if you were Nepalese, you could wander in and out of the kingdom, but if you're Badeshi, as we call them, white people or non foreigners to the country, you needed a special permit, and that permit is not it's not cheap. But I guess the old saying, you get what you pay for, and Mustang just delivers in buckets. Might be a bucket list item for a lot of people, but certainly delivers in buckets. I mean, it's brilliant. And I think because of those boundaries that the country has, or that kingdom has, it stopped a lot of people getting in there, and it's jammed right up on that northern edge with Tibet. And amazing things happened up there. I mean, the CIA involved with the Tibetan community, rallying against the Chinese takeover, and so there was these people up in that northern part of Mustang, sort of trying to defend the Tibetan way of life. And so all of these things really stopped the level of progress or westernization taking place. So no one really ventured in too much. And then if you add the landscape and the roads, I mean, how far are you ever going to travel really anyway? I mean, it's a harsh country. And then when you think that it's perched up north of the Himalayan range, it's like not many people are going to go there. So the Annapurna circuit, lots of people get around, but because of the money, because of the permit, because of the conditions, no one ever really went much up into Mustang. So I thought, this is the place to go. Get that real authentic culture.
Well, I think that's what this is really about, that authentic experience in the culture. And I'm just interested, out of all the places that you've been to and we've been together in Mustang, do you have a personal favorite, a place that you like to return back to?
I think probably for those listening to this and that haven't made the journey first, it's that little town perched on the southern edge of Mustang. As it's like the village before you make the official entrance into Mustang, and that's Kagbeni. I mean, that sets the tone of the whole trip, I think. And then beyond that, I think when you get to Lomantang, that again has just got so much with the ancient um, city, the walls around the city where the king again used to live with his family. I mean, when you get up there, you walk around the walls and you reach the main doors, which are locked, closed, and you get a look at the size of it. So these ancient cultures, which what they've still created is massive. And so yeah, I think the authenticity, the antiquity, the strange things that you see. Yeah, it's almost undescribable. I mean, I could rattle on about it, and it's, I feel like it's only words, but when you get to see it, touch it, feel it, smell it, experience it, it all becomes so real. I mean, on our last trip, Nat, I just by chance went into an art and craft store, met a guy, we struck up a nice friendship, and then he said, meet me 6 o'clock in the morning out on the street. You came along, and half a dozen of the others took us on inside one of the oldest monasteries in the Himalayas for a full puja. I mean, those things are so unique. I mean, yeah, they're, I don't know, you've really got to grab them. I hope that people realize, I mean, what we've done on these trips is put in front of people very, very unique experiences, which I think comes in part without, wanting to ring the bell and everything. I think because I've been there, because I've lived there for 20 plus years, I've been able to search out those unique little opportunities, find them off, put them in front of everyone, get them there, and then it's up to people themselves to, I guess, absorb and see what it is to them, see what they come away with. But I think what we've realised over the last couple of trips is it has meant a lot, because the evidence is we've got a number of people coming back to do the trip for a second time.
Yeah. Well, for me and everyone else, thank you so much. Let's look forward to the one coming up. And I guess, Dhanibat, thank you.
Namaste, Dhanivat, thank you. Tashi Delay in Tibetan.
Yeah. And thank you for your contribution and spending so much time to put this together.
Total pleasure. Yeah, see you.